For news across the globe, let's start with the BRICS. The BRICS inducted five new countries in January 2024, which includes Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Iran, and Ethiopia. Well, Argentina is the only country that rejected joining BRICS despite receiving an invitation in August 2023. While BRICS is now a 10-member bloc, a new round of expansion is likely at the 16th summit in Russia Kazan region. The next BRICS summit will be held in October, and Russia's President Vladimir Putin confirmed that 30 new countries have now expressed their interest to join the alliance. Russia's President Vladimir Putin confirmed in a recent press conference that 30 new countries have formally submitted their applications to join BRICS in 2024. If the bloc approves all the 30 nations' applications, then BRICS could become a 14-member group. That's bigger in terms of financial power and even the GDP and could compete with the US dollar and other Western allies.
Well, on the United States, House Republicans impeachment they plot to swiftly impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas this year, as key swing district Republicans expressed fresh openness to the idea amid a recent surge of migrant crossings at the southern border. Now, the controversial move to make Mayorkas the first cabinet secretary impeached in nearly 150 years amounts to a shift for the House GOP, which had set its sight on potentially impeaching President Joe Biden in early 2024. But with the Biden probe moving methodically and a number of Republicans still skeptical about impeaching the president, senior Republicans now believe targeting Mayorkas will be an easier lift as the border crisis becomes a defining campaign issue.
Well, still in the U.S., criticisms of U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is growing after it emerged his deputy was unaware that he was in hospital despite assuming some of his responsibility. This was not informed until the 4th of January that Mr. Austin was in intensive care 4 days after he entered the hospital, U.S. media reported it globally. Mr. Austin, who is 70 years, resumed his food duties on Friday evening. Well, but questions are swirling around the secrecy of his medical situation. The defense secretary sits just below the president in the chain of command for the U.S. military, and the Pentagon's failure to disclose Mr. Austin's illness has raised concerns about a lack of transparency. For 3 days, senior defense officials and even the White House were not aware of Mr. Austin's hospital's visit.
Oh, well, technology keeps advancing. What is the U.S. doing about technology in the wars around the world? Well, the U.S. is set to deploy a global network of sensors that can detect, track, and help shooting hostile missiles. Hypersonic weapon systems are classified as reaching the speed of Mach 5 or higher. Using the term created for ballistic missiles, it is helpful to group the weapons according to their range when talking about these capabilities. Short range 1,000 kilometers, medium range 1,000 to 3,000 kilometers, intermediate range 3,000 to 5,500 kilometers, and intercontinental 5,500 kilometers. Well, the two primary categories of these new weapons are hypersonic boost glide systems and propelled cruise missiles. Propelled cruise missiles are multi-stage rocket-driven vehicles that accelerate to a point at which a sustainer stage powered by a scramjet may take over and complete the mission. Now, hypersonic boost glide systems work by accelerating a glide vehicle to hypersonic speed over several stages, usually utilizing solid rockets, and subsequently the vehicle then glides unpowered when completing its mission.
Meanwhile, Trump wants Georgia election subversion case. He wants it dismissed, arguing he has presidential immunity. Former President Donald Trump is seeking to have the sweeping criminal conspiracy against him in Georgia thrown out by arguing he is protected from prosecution under presidential immunity. Trump's immunity claims in the Georgia case filed on Monday as part of a motion to dismiss state level criminal charges against the former president. He says they are similar to those argued by his defense team in the federal election subversion case. The indictment in this case charges President Trump for acts that lie at the heart of his official responsibilities as president. The indictment is barred by presidential immunity and should be dismissed with prejudice, the motion filed by Trump's lawyer in the Georgia case. That was what it read.